Hey there, Breakfast Club. Surprise! It's another video from me on the same topic of abuse. Because there is more to say, but when recording the previous version, I felt that that was a, good moment to stop. But there is a lot more to say about it. Another reason why I was reluctant, I suppose, throughout my life to call what I went through abuse is because I tend to think of it, the word abuse, as being physical when there's a huge part of me which realizes, of course, that there's also psychological abuse and emotional abuse. And, those were the main things that I definitely suffered from as a child growing up, for sure. And, the ramifications and of that still echo through my life to this day. Certain things are imprinted, I suppose, is one way to look at it, that the groove is so deep that I can't seem to undo the groove. I can't get out of the groove because the groove is already there. It's been etched. That's how it feels sometimes. But I don't beat myself up about that because, like I said in my previous video, I do like myself. And generally speaking, the effects aren't, overly deleterious or anything like that. Having said that, like I said in my previous video, I was, for a long time, a very unhappy child, and when I hit the whole adolescence thing, I'm sure a combination of childhood unhappiness and raging hormones drove me to do a lot of things I really shouldn't do. I was a vandal for a while, and I did a lot of extremely naughty things that I didn't get caught for. And all the things I ever got caught for and got in trouble for were usually the things that I did that weren't so severe, which is kind of ironic. But I suppose also a good thing, right? Because it would have been a lot worse if I got caught for the really bad shit that I did. Anyway, emotional abuse is something which is really hard to quantify, and I had it from mostly my dad. I was directly told that I could never do anything right, that I couldn't be trusted for any reason about anything. And what else? Oh yeah, that I was really stupid. And see, it was the really stupid one which was the one that gave me the strength to sort of not be worn down as much as I think what the intention was. Because I knew for a fact that I wasn't stupid, and therefore if he was wrong about that, he's probably wrong about the other stuff. That's how I used to reason as a kid. And there would be loads of times when my dad would be having a go at me, shouting. And, his intention, of course, was to bring me to tears, and I would never buckle. I would stand there and not cry. I'd be on the verge, and he knew it, but I wouldn't cry. And sometimes, a lot of the times, it really pissed him off that I wasn't crying. And that's the type of thing I talk about as an example. That was pretty frequent for a lot of years when I was growing up. Emotional abuse can come in a lot of forms, and some of it's pretty subtle, I suppose. Psychological and emotional abuse is what I would sort of categorize the abuse that I can't really deny as a child. The physical stuff, what happened to me was I got spanked occasionally, and a few other things, which, and from my point of view as a parent, are unforgivable, really, but at the same time, I have forgiven my parents. It is what it is. I am who I am, and I like it, so it's not really hard to forgive. But as a parent, I think, oh my God, you should never do those things, So, like I say, it was extremely rare that I ever had to have any sort of corporal punishment of physical nature. But when I did, it definitely hurt a lot. But it wasn't like I had it very often. Like I say, most of the things that I did wrong, I didn't get caught for. And when I did get caught, usually I got grounded. That was the most frequent form of punishment in our house. And I didn't like that for sure. You want to be out with your friends, having a life, and so forth. But that was the way I was brought up. I was brought up being grounded a lot. and emotional abuse, in some ways, as I say, it does still reverberate throughout my life, but I recognize it for what it is, and I try not to let it adversely affect me too much, or the people around me too much. You know. Anyway, I did want to sort of add that in because I think it's important not to limit the discussion of abuse to just physical abuse, which I inadvertently did in my previous video. Thanks for watching this video. Once again, I should remind you that JJ Talks is up next, and I look forward to whatever your comments are below. Until next week, may a good... what was I going to say? Oh yeah, may all your ups and downs be ups.